And speaking of Brady Duke, and this is the first time we've had an opportunity to do it, he is in the race as a Republican for the 7th Congressional District seat held by Stephanie Murphy. This is Orlando, Winter Park area here. It used to be the longtime Republican-held seat of John Micah here. Some consider Stephanie Murphy to be vulnerable. I'm among them. I had not heard of Brady Duke before. But we welcome him here to the 50,000-watt front porch. And good morning, Orlando. Alan, Melissa, and I are delighted to have you with us, and a very good morning to you, Brady.
Good morning, bud. How are you?
I'm just fine. Tell us a little bit about you in terms of your background. I teased folks with a little bit of it. I know you live in Oviedo. You've got a family. Talk about that a little bit and your background.
Yes, sir. I grew up in Central Florida. I'm a Floridian. I grew up in Kissimmee. I went off and served my country. In 2006, I joined the Navy, went in the SEAL teams, fought overseas in Afghanistan, was active duty for 9 years, got married. I have 5 children, and I've always called Florida home. And so we have moved back to this area, and, I am, interested in running in politics. I'm very, very adamant about doing what needs to be done for the American people. I'm called to service. That is who I am, and I think we're compromising as a nation. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, specifically in Florida.
You and your family now living in Oviedo, correct?
Yes, we're living here in Oviedo now.
Yeah, we're talking to Brady Duke, just announced Republican candidate for the 7th Congressional District here in Central Florida, which is now, that seat's now occupied by Democrat Stephanie Murphy. How do you size up the differences between you, Brady Duke, and Stephanie Murphy?
I think, I'm going to run, and who I am as a person. I'm going to run with integrity. I'm going to run with honesty and vulnerability. Stephanie Murphy came in, and she was moderate, and she's definitely catered to the far left, and the policies of that are really going to be sacrificing, as we've seen, sacrificing the freedoms of the people, are not going to be good for the American family. And that's not something that I'm willing to do, is compromise on my values and my beliefs. What people see is what people are going to get. I'm going to be clear and honest about who I am.
Hey, Brady, it's Melissa Fox. And my question has always been, how do you feel about term limits?
I'm very passionate about term limits. I think everyone is over it with career politicians. I think we need to do something about term limits and ensure that those who are coming in to serve their country do it quickly. They make a difference for their communities that they serve, for the nation that they serve, and then they get back into running businesses in the communities that they live in. I think it's absolutely vital to America thriving.
Now, professionally, you're a minister. Intervene Ministries. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Intervene Ministries is a ministry that we started out of our own personal breakthrough, my wife and I, and it's something that we were very passionate about, seeing people set free, specifically focusing on the area of forgiveness and reconciliation. And it's something that we serve veterans in, we serve couples in, and we sit down with people to help them work through really deep issues. And we've seen a lot of breakthrough and success in that ministry.
Yeah, again, we're talking to Brady Duke, just announced Republican candidate for the 7th Congressional District here in Central Florida. Brady, the Republican Party has found itself mired in debates recently over the Capitol Hill riot on January 6th and President Trump's claims that the election was stolen. Do you have any feelings on those issues, or is this something we need to get past?
I think I am with a lot of people. I have a lot of doubts about the way the election went. The actions on January 6th specifically, I think those who committed a crime on that day need to be held accountable. It was a direct assault on our democratic processes. But I think we need to move past it, and we need to continue to ensure that we have safe and secure elections. I think people are really wondering how secure the elections are, and that's a lot of the turmoil that a lot of our nation is feeling today.
I want you to come back, if you can stay through a brief break here, Brady Duke, and tell us what the most important issues are in your mind as you ramp up to run for the congressional seat as a Republican, now held District 7 by Democrat Stephanie Murphy. Our guest is Brady Duke. An update on Orlando's news, weather, and traffic in 2 minutes, and then back at it here on Good Morning Orlando. Headlines now in the pandemic. America is setting another milestone in the fight against the coronavirus. Half of all adults, 128 million, now fully vaccinated. Data from the CDC also showing nearly 158 have received at least one dose of a vaccine. Updates for you at least every 10 minutes in our top stories on Good Morning Orlando.
From News Radio WFLA Orlando, this is Good Morning Orlando with Bud Henninger, Alan Spector, and Melissa Fox.
Wrapping it up with our special guest right now who has jumped into the congressional race against District 7 Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy here in the Central Florida area. Brady Duke, who is a former Navy SEAL sniper who fought in Afghanistan, served in the Middle East, is a Christian minister locally, lives with his wife and 5 kids in Oviedo. Brady, issue by issue, what's your platform? What do you stand for, and what will you fight for if we send you to Congress?
You know, the things that I'm really passionate about that got me into this race is, you know, the 3 biggest things I think a lot of Americans are upset about is our border security. We cannot have a safe America, a prosperous America with a porous border. There are drugs coming across the borders. Any human trafficking is not okay. And there are serious terrorist threats, organizations that are trying to come through and have been caught coming through our borders. Second is election integrity. You know, I think a lot of Americans are really unsure if their vote counted. Whether you're on the left or the right, we have to make sure that our elections are secure. That is what's going to preserve our democracy and ensure that our nation is thriving. And lastly, I'm tired, along with a lot of Americans, for a lot of these moves to increase taxes. I think we have to solve a lot of the problems we're seeing today through the private market and an open economy where competition is encouraged. Those are the big things that I'm really passionate about that have gotten me in this race.
Where do you stand on Second Amendment rights here to bear arms? Obviously, you bore arms in defense of this country, serving in combat overseas.
Right.
Where are you on the Second Amendment?
You know, I think, you know, I've as you said, I've fought overseas. I am a gun proponent. I think Americans should be armed for their protection. I think any restrictions are going to only restrict those who are seeking to be law-abiding. Period. I think we need to ensure that the American people we uphold the right for them to defend themselves in that way. You know, I have fought overseas and seen it. I've been opposed with weapons stronger than those that I've carried. And, you know, it's really about who's on the other side of the gun, not the gun itself. And so I think we need to really focus on ensuring that people are free and people are healthy in our country.
Folks want to learn more about you, Brady Duke. How do they do it?
They can go to my website, bradyduke.com. That's where they can find me. I would love to connect, and I'm ready to do this.
Any final words?
I'm ready to serve the American people. You know, I have served my country overseas. I serve in ministry, and that's what I'm called to do. I'm going to serve with honesty and integrity, and what they see is what they get. I'm not going to compromise for political gain.
We'll follow your campaign running as a Republican against Democrat Stephanie Murphy, District 7, the race for Congress here, in a seat that I think is winnable from the Republican side. Brady Duke, we wish you well. We'll follow the campaign. Thanks for coming on Good Morning Orlando.
Thank you so much, bud.
All right, good deal. Brady Duke, you know, I live out in the Oviedo Winter Springs area there, and I've never met Brady Duke, and he jumped into the race, and it's a great name. If you're talking about, you know, a name, and you talk about a resume, and I don't care that he doesn't have political experience. I almost prefer that. I almost prefer that we don't just have another, you know, a retread politician out there. I mean, this guy obviously is well-grounded. He's a Christian minister. He is well-spoken, you know that. And he served this country and laid it on the line big time. He is tough as nails and obviously a patriot who bleeds red, white, and blue. He was a Navy SEAL sniper.